Alright, so we are right now in the middle of the Parashas, of the portion of the Torah where we discuss the Jews going out of Egypt, which is something that we mention each time we say Kiddush. Each time there's a holiday, the Jews go out of Egypt, we keep mentioning all the time to remember Zecher Yetziat Mitzrayim, something you're supposed to remember every day. And I love speaking about that because it's really something that we have, it's part of our everyday life. So as we know, going out of Egypt means going out of our limitations, the limitations of our body, the limitations of this physical world, of the dimensions we live in. And the 10 plagues that we're discussing, why 10 plagues? Why did God do 10 makos, 10 plagues? So this, again, an amazing subject. I've made a few videos about it, but there's always a different twist we can give, a better, greater understanding. So let's go into it and try to have a better understanding. So we have 10 plagues. Why 10 plagues? Why 10? Why not 8? Why not 12? It is not such a thing as a random number in Judaism. Every number goes according to Kabbalah with very deep secrets. The reason we have 10 fingers is not a coincidence. Why you have 8, not 8? So 10 makos. The reason I 10 makos is because God, at the beginning of creation, created the world in 10 steps. We created the world in 10 steps, and that's what the 10 sfirot are. And you have to look at the 10 sfirot, or those 10 powers, as the DNA of creation. So we have here the 10th step with which God created the world, is the famous Sephirot tree. So you have to imagine those 10 steps. You can think of the Big Bang and everything that happens for things to form. Imagine the 10 scientific steps for the world from the Big Bang till the way the world looks today. Let's remember that all of science and all of the physical world is all an example of the spiritual growth or the spiritual expansion also of the world, the way God made it. So the physical parallels the spiritual, and those 10 steps were the 10 I would say, like you could say, the 10 atoms or the 10 energies, the 10 powers with which God created the world, and everything is made with vibration, with energy. So there are 10 energies, and this is why in the Hebrew language it's so important, where you have those 10 energies connected by vibrations. The vibrations are the vibrations of the Hebrew letters of the alphabet. That's why there are 22 lines for the 22 letters of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet, and every combination activates certain energies. That's connected to string theory, because everything is vibration. If you go inside an atom and deeper in the electron and protons, inside you have the quark, and inside the quark you have the string theory. And the strings are vibrations, energy. So today this is common science, common knowledge. It's not anymore superstition or anything. So God made the world with 10 powers, and what happens is that we men are made also of those 10 powers, because everything is made out of those 10 powers. So this is why, right? We have men with 10 powers, and we are made with those powers, and we have to work on ourselves. We have to use the powers of creation who are connected to us. If you have energy, let's call it the love energy, and there's love energy in the world. Olam chesed ibaneh, the world is made on chesed, on love. Therefore, my love energy is able to connect to the love energy of the world, and I can expand it, I can make it grow, and I can make it stronger until it's complete. The goal is that all 10 should be complete. So what happens is that Adam, at the beginning of creation, broke the system and distanced the spiritual from the physical, distanced, so to speak, the head from the body. The head contains 3 powers of creation, which are mostly mental powers, conscious powers, more spiritual powers, and then you have the 7 lower power from the body. So what happens is that Avram, so this needed to be fixed. We need to put back the physical and the spiritual together to create a harmony again, so that everything we can go back to Gan Eden, to a world where there's complete harmony, and the physical doesn't pull down the spiritual. On the contrary, the spirit elevates the physical and become one with it. So there's perfect balance in the world, and perfect pleasure, perfect harmony. This is a state where you can experience God's creation to the fullest. That's what God wanted for Adam Arishon in Gan Eden, to experience God completely, or at least his creation, until he experienced God himself. But that was the preparation, the 10 steps, fixing those 10 things. So what happens is that Avram and Sarah came and start working on that. Noah came before, but Noah was only able to connect to the 7 lower powers of the body. That's why the non-Jews are given 7 lower commandments, and anybody who wants to go deeper and higher can connect to the 3 higher powers. And for that you need to convert to Judaism to be in touch with those deeper power of the soul. And then you can do the 613 commandments, which are connected to the 10 commandments. So we have Avram and Sarah who came, and Avram and Sarah started fixing the sin of Adam Arishon, reconnecting the 7 and the 3. That's why I say Avram had 10 tests. Avram had 10 tests. Why he had 10 tests? Because he represented what a Jew is. The test of a Jew, of every individual, is to have those 10 tests, to fix those 10 powers. What happened in Egypt is that Egypt has been the place on earth that had deteriorated the most, that had taken those 10 powers and completely put them under control of their god, so to speak, idolatry, and says this god and this god and this god, really referring to those some of those powers, and giving them individual ownership, so to speak, independence. But really, they didn't understand that all those powers came from God, so they were misusing it, and they were destroying the world, making it worse and worse for the 3 and the 7 to unite and to be pure. So what happens is that the Jews were sent there, and the Jews were sent there into Egypt, and that's why the Jews represents the soul going into the body. The body is Egypt. And we went there to fix those 10 powers, those 10 things. And Hashem had to show the Egyptians and show the Jews what those 10 powers were and who was in charge of those 10 powers. And God showed that he had control of everything, every level of creation, every single blade of grass, every single animal, every single life force and energy. And by experiencing the 10 commandments, the 10 makos, the 10 plagues, we were witnesses to the fact that, in fact, yes, God is in charge of everything, and those 10 powers need to be fixed in order to go out of Egypt, for the world to have redemption, in order to go back to Gan Eden. And what's happening if we fix those, then we start living a life of Gan Eden. That's what happened when the Jews, they came out of Egypt. Right away they had the man, and they were like going faster than the normal way to travel, meaning time and space started, spirituality and physically started bounding and being balanced, and miracles started to happen. So what's happening is that this is why the Parasha are split into 2. You have Parashas Va'era, easy way to remember how many Makos plagues are in the Parashas Va'era. It's 7, because the first 2 letters of Va'era is Vav and Aleph, which is 6 and 1, it's 7. And the next Parasha has 3, because the 3 correspond to Bo, Bet, Aleph, which is 3. in numerical value. So why do we have the separation? Because 7 corresponds to the body. So was the 7 plagues fixing the 7 lower body powers, the more physical powers, and then the 3 correspond to the head, which is the 3 more spiritual powers. And from there, what we have is that Hashem brought them to Mount Sinai and showed them that, okay, now it's your chance to influence the entire world with those 10 makos, those 10 energies that I showed you. I'm in control, and for you to finish fixing those 10. Because God can do it, obviously, but the goal is that we can fix ourselves and elevate ourselves and achieve our own maturity, our own spirituality, and earn it. There's nothing greater than to earn something you have worked for. So the idea is that we, as Jewish people, were given the 10 commandments to fix those, so that the 10 plagues or the 10 powers that put the world down were re-elevated and fixed and stay pure by teaching the nations, the whole world, and fixing the world with our commandments. That's why there are 613 commandments. 6 plus 1 plus 3 equals really 10, because all 613 commandments are connected to the 10 powers, energies, the 10 commandments. And that is why. Right, okay, there's a lot of 10. I can bring a lot of 10. I'm not going to go into that now, but I wanted to conclude with the idea that so how we do that? How we fix those powers? What it means to fix those 10 energies and 10 spheres? So you have the 3 of the head, while we have Chokhmah Bina Das, or some say Keseh Chokhmah Bina, which are more fixing the way we think, fixing the way we process information, fixing the way we understand things, and make it real. So changing the way we resonate, the way we look at the world. That's the 3 top, which is mostly achieved. It's the responsibility of the Jews through the Torah, by learning Torah and teaching Torah. Those are the way those forces are used. Meditation and prayer also connected a lot to that. Then you have the 7 lower energies. So for example, you have Chesed, which is the energy of love, fixing the love in you. And then you have the energy of Gvura, which is the energy of controlling yourself, strength, fighting to not to go beyond certain, not to be spoiled, not to go beyond certain point. Then you have the energy of Tiferet, which is inner balance, which is healing, right. And then again, what I'm saying is it's on a personal level, but also to heal the world. Meaning, every energies you have to fix it within yourself and fix it in the world out large. So you have to be proactive with yourself and the world out there. Then you have Netzah, which is fixing more the how we take care of Earth, how to respect nature, how to respect animals, and whatever gives life. Then you have Hod, which is the glory with where you celebrate the energy, or you fix the energy of being grateful, but also being humble. And by the way, each one of those energies is teaching you how to be like one of the forefathers. Abraham was Chesed, Yitzchak is Gvura. That's what each one of those forefathers came to teach you. That's why they're so important. They represent the perfect model of Chesed, the perfect model of Gvura, of each one of those energies. So where can you learn about those, on how to perfect yourself? First of all, it's all over the Torah, of course, because the whole Torah is nothing else than those 10 powers. But there are different books which you can learn it. The most understandable and simple book are one is Tomer Dvorah, which is going to teach you about on a very practical way how to fix those 10 powers. in English called Palm Tree of Devora, one of the best. Then there's also the Messias Yesharim, The Path of the Just, one of my favorite book ever, which has 10 chapters, teaching you how to be humble and how to be chassid, how to be, how to be Yashamayim, how to be aware, how to be holy, all the 10 steps. You can find it also in I'm thinking if there's another book that is there's a book called Getting to Know Your Soul also. Getting to Know Your Soul by Rabbi Schwartz, Bilvav Mishkan Evne. Those are the 3 most understandable books that I know personally in English. There's also obviously Rabbi Ari Kaplan, who speaks about the 10 spheros, but it's not as much as doesn't explain as much in terms of exercising how to practice it and how to work at it. It's more general, but you can get help from that. There's also the book from Ramak Moshe Cordovero on the Choker Umekubal. No, that's from the Ramchal. That's also good. But the introduction to the Kabbalah from the Ramak, or Or Nerav, it's called, The Sweet Light. They have like self-publishing that speaks about the 10 powers, but it doesn't go, like I said. So the best 3 is Tomer Dvorah and Tomer Dvorah, the Getting to Know Your Soul, and Messias Yesharim, my 3 favorite. And there's also Chovos Halevavos, also I forgot to say, who takes those 10 powers in different orders and tells you how to fix it. Obviously you can take the Maharal and go through the 10 Makos and what it represents, all that. But the more you learn about the 10 Makos and the 10 Spheros and the 10 Commandments and the 10 sayings of creation, they're all connected. And I'll finish with the idea that the reason why you have 10 fingers is to represent that you have on the tip of your fingers all 10 powers of creation. It's not for nothing we said to have something on the tip of your fingers. That we as human beings have the power in heaven and on earth, 10 toes and 10 fingers. We can reach to heaven, take those powers and bring them all the way down to our toes. Our whole body contains those 10 powers, and we have the ability to affect the whole world by doing the commandments and learning Torah and working ourselves. But we have the only way to be free, to bring redemption, to go out of Egypt again. That's what we do every day again. We should work every day on our character traits. The character traits are even more important than working on the mitzvot, because the mitzvot are only being productive, so to speak. The power of a commandment only works if the character traits are not flowed. So we can't wait till you're perfect, because otherwise you'll never, because it's impossible to be perfect. But you can always work and do in the same time the mitzvahs. That's really the most important. But the most important is to work on your character traits all the time. Okay, I hope it made sense and you enjoyed the amazing world we live in with all those connections, and that you are going to take a commitment for the new non-Jewish year, secular year. It is never too late to start, and every little opportunity from any side you should use. So use that little new thing in order to start working on yourself. Buy one of those books, read it, and make it part of you, and try to change and to transform your 10 powers so you become one of the people who have made a change in the world and brought us back to Gan Eden. Because at the end, when we're going to die and we get to heaven, that's what I'm going to check. What did you do for the world? Was your place on earth, your life on earth, something that brought the world closer to God and brought people closer to each other? So may we all be able to be part of that.